When I was in college, one of my favorite verses was that you must die to yourself in order to be born into Jesus. We actually had a little Bible study group that when we sort of found that verse when we were 19 years old, tried to figure out what that would mean. I'm really kind of loath to say what anyone should be dying to or what a particular church at a given time in its history needs to die to, because I think that God calls us each uniquely into that death, and whatever that place is or whatever that thing is we have to die to is never something that we want to give up. It's a struggle in that way to die to self. And Lent is our ritualized time to think about that. What are those things, where are the places in which I'm being held back, which I am still holding on to that old way of being, and that way of being is the not Jesus. It is the way of being that I want rather than what God wants for me. And that has wound up over this long time now that I've been thinking about this verse for some 30 years. It's wound up being different things at different times. It's been as diverse as wanting to give up all the clothes in my closet, which I did when I was 20 years old. I actually got into this Franciscan sort of place where I took every piece of clothing except for an old tattered pair of jeans and a couple of ragged t-shirts, and I gave all my clothes away to the poor. And that was a dying to myself, that in a way that I understood, in a way that I felt called to at a particular point in my life. And then when I was somewhat older, in my mid-30s, I had to die to my own image of what I thought I was supposed to be. And that was to be the sort of the perfect wife or to be the perfect scholar. And I had to be willing to just let go of the schemes and the plots and the plans that I had for my own life. And at another time, I was called to let go of having a bad or false image of myself. And that was constantly beating up on myself, saying, oh, you're a miserable sinner, you're always going to fail. And there was a time which God called me to say, let that go. You are my creation. You are beautiful. You are not a failure. You are gifted. You are powerful. Embrace the Spirit. And so those are very diverse giving ups. And I think that as human beings, and we go through life, we experience that variety, complexity, and diversity of what we're called to surrender. And that dying to oneself is not a one-time thing, but it continues on and on and on as we go through a journey with Jesus.
What do you need to die to?
What do I need to die to now? I have no idea, because I haven't been spending enough time in prayer this Lent to yet figure that out. So I hope maybe by the end of Lent I'll have a little clearer sense of that.